Life is good. Life is so damn good. I mean...
Newcastle United have returned with a bang, smashing one goal past Wolves as Eddie Howe picked his first 3 points. So from Nick Woltermaid's first ever masterclass, to the right-wing chef, to revealing Newcastle's real biggest asset. We'll also discuss the latest ahead of a major Champions League clash with Barcelona. As per, join us as we'll break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Newcastle United, 1 Wolverhampton Wanderers 0.
Let's go!
So the first thing we learned was the Nick Woltermaid masterclass. He could hardly have asked for a better introduction to life in the Premier League. Thrown straight into the starting 11 amid concerns over Yoane Wissa's fitness, the German striker showed exactly why Newcastle were willing to break their transfer record for him. Originally, the plan had been to ease him in gradually, but on this evidence he looks ready to shoulder the responsibility from the outset. What stood out most was the blend of qualities that had people comparing him to a Berbatov-Crouch hybrid even before he kicked a ball for the club. There were some beautifully weighted layoffs, intelligent movement to link play, and that trademark aerial presence that paid off with a superbly taken header. It was the sort of finish that lifted St James's Park, proof that he can step into the void left by Alexander Isak. Statistically, his debut was impressive. With a 7.8 match rating, Woltermaid played 65 minutes, scoring once from an XG of 0.27 only, had 3 shots, completing 89% of his passes, and even creating a key chance for a teammate. Beyond the numbers, it was the intensity of his work that caught the eye. He won more duels than any Newcastle player, 8, put in 3 tackles, and pressed Wolves' backline relentlessly. For someone who many assumed would need time to adjust, he looked physically and mentally tuned in straight away. The fact that he later asked to be subbed off after feeling tired. It showed he had given everything for the team, but it also underlined the importance of him building up his match fitness in the demanding Premier League. That goal also etched his name into the history books, making him just the 3rd German player to score on his Premier League debut after Jürgen Klinsmann and Ilkay Gundogan. Considering he matched his entire Bundesliga-headed goal tally in just 1 game, it feels like he's only scratching the surface of what he can bring. Speaking about Woltermaid's debut, Eddie Howe said, "You saw his qualities, his technical qualities that we've been discussing, his intelligence. But most importantly for a striker, when the ball comes in the box, you need to be there. And he was today. It was a great finish. Really pleased for him personally because that just settles him down and relaxes him. Very humble guy, wants to do well. He's delighted to be here. I think it's a great start." Strong, technical and selfless in his play, Woltermaid showed a unique mix of attributes that Newcastle have been crying out for. It was a debut that offered both promise and reassurance, proof that he isn't just a long-term project, but someone ready to make an immediate impact. For Newcastle fans, this was the perfect start. Then we also learned about the Newcastle chef. Jacob Murphy once again proved why he's such a vital figure in Eddie Howe's Newcastle side. The winger's trademark delivery created Nick Woltermaid's debut goal, and the reaction afterwards summed up the respect he commands inside the dressing room. Both Woltermaid and Yoane Wissa replied to his celebratory post, with the German thanking him directly, and the Congolese striker cheekily commenting "room service" with a chef emoji in reference to his inch-perfect cross. It was a reminder that while much of the recent narrative has been dominated by the departure of Alexander Isak and the arrival of 2 new strikers, Murphy has quietly been the constant. Last season alone, he produced 12 Premier League assists and 15 in all competitions, underlining how essential his supply line has been to Newcastle's attacking play. Whether it's a new £69 million German striker or an established forward, Murphy's delivery is the link that makes it all work. Speaking after the game, Woltermaid himself revealed just how much trust Murphy instills in his teammates. The 23-year-old told Premier League reporter Andy Sixsmith that Murphy had instructed him to get in the box, reassuring him that the crosses would come.
Good ball from us. Good header. Yeah, he told me the last 5 days I think he always make crosses, so I was just waiting for the ball. Good header, I think. Amazing atmosphere. Such a great feeling.
The striker did exactly that and was rewarded with a goal that felt like a throwback to classic Newcastle centre-forward play. It's the type of goal they simply weren't scoring earlier this season without a natural number 9 on the pitch. Statistically, Murphy backed up the eye test. leading the match in XG with 0.82 and in shots with 4. In 89 minutes, he had a 7.0 match rating, created 1 assist with a 0.28 expected assist value, drove forward with intent, completing 2 of his 3 dribbles, 1 big chance missed. He attempted 9 crosses, 1 of which was perfectly executed for the goal. His work rate was evident too, competing in 6 duels and winning 3 aerial contests, while offering defensive graft with his tracking back with 2 clearances. The battle with Anthony Elanga for the right wing spot will be one to watch, but Murphy made a strong case against Wolves. His form, creativity, and understanding with the strikers are difficult to replicate, and his experience could prove invaluable with Barcelona up next in the Champions League. Murphy has long been underrated, but with Woltemade already benefiting from his service, and Wissa waiting to receive such service, it's becoming clear that he is still Newcastle's assist king and one of Howe's most trusted difference makers. Then the third thing we learned was the real asset. St. James's Park has witnessed its share of heroes, but on Saturday it was Sandro Tonali who once again carried the Newcastle United badge with distinction. While Alexander Isak's £125 million departure to Liverpool has dominated headlines, it is the Italian midfielder who now sets the tone for Eddie Howe's side. If Howe could design the perfect player to embody his up and at them style, it would look a lot like Tonali. He is technically gifted, relentless without the ball, and capable of influencing every phase of play. Against Wolves, he was everywhere, breaking up counters, dictating tempo, and driving Newcastle forward with an elegance that belied the sheer physical effort behind it. Eddie Howe summed it up best afterwards. "I think he covered every blade today. He was putting out a lot of fires on transitions for us. The number of times that he reads the game, reads where the ball's going to drop and he's there first, then you realize it's a massive skill of his. The numbers back it up." Tonali, with a 7.5 match rating, completed 40 of 51 passes, hit the woodwork with a rasping effort, and tested the goalkeeper twice more. He attempted 8 long passes with 4 accurate, and carried the ball forward with 2 successful dribbles, won 6 of his 9 ground duels, with 2 interceptions and 1 tackle. That balance of defensive grit and attacking thrust is rare and invaluable. What's striking about Tonali is how he covers ground. Tino Livramento may look the quickest player in black and white, but Tonali is deceptively faster. He doesn't sprint, he glides. One moment he's quelling a Wolves break, the next he's arriving on the edge of their box, as if transported across the pitch in a flash. It's football that feels almost computer-generated. Last season, his return from a long suspension helped ignite Newcastle's most successful modern campaign. This year, he's gone from spark to standard-bearer. He isn't just part of Howe's system, he defines it. For all the fuss over losing Isak, the real jewel of this side remains in midfield. When Newcastle needed someone to drag them back onto the right track, it was Tonali who stepped up, who pressed, who tackled, who created, who nearly scored. He is the real asset of an engine purring at the heart of Eddie Howe's machine. Then moving on to the defensive fortress. Newcastle United's win over Wolves was built not just on attacking flair, but on a defensive masterclass that suffocated the home side's threat from start to finish. Eddie Howe's team maintained constant pressure in advanced areas, exploiting gaps in Wolves' backline and controlling possession for large stretches of the game as seen in the field tilt. Their dominance in midfield and the final third was rewarded with the opening goal, but equally impressive was the way they restricted their opponents to scraps. Wolves rarely found any rhythm, struggling to bypass Newcastle's defensive shape. Despite a few half moments in the first half, their threat all but disappeared after the break, reflected in a miserly 0.38 expected goals. In fact, Wolves failed to create a single big chance in the game. Of all the teams in the Saturday 3 p.m. kickoffs, only Sunderland and Aston Villa registered lower XG values. That stat speaks volumes about the Magpies' organisation and resilience. At the heart of it all was Fabian Schär, who produced a near-flawless defensive display. The Swiss international finished with an 8.0 match rating, 9 clearances, 1 blocked shot, 1 interception, 77 touches, 53 accurate passes from 61 attempts. He read the game superbly, snuffing out danger and even contributing with a key pass going forward, with 7 accurate long balls and 7 duels won. Alongside him, with a 7.9 match rating, Nick Pope was assured in goal, making 3 solid saves. all from inside the box, and commanding his area with a vital high claim. That performance secured Newcastle's third clean sheet in 4 games, a sign of just how reliable their defensive unit has become. Kieran Trippier was another standout, blending defensive duty with attacking quality down the right. He supported Jacob Murphy brilliantly, creating 5 chances, the most in the match, recording the most touches of any player on the pitch, 1 clearance, interception, tackle, being dribbled past once, 5 key passes, delivering 7 accurate crosses and 4 out of 5 duels won. His link-up with Murphy was a constant source of danger, while his leadership kept Newcastle's backline steady whenever Wolves tried to break forward. On the left central position, Dan Burn provided a solid if unspectacular shift, with 3 clearances, 1 interception, 2 tackles, 0 times dribbled past, and 80% passing accuracy, winning 6 duels, while Tino Livramento quietly impressed with a 96% passing accuracy and 11 ground duels contested, showing his tenacity despite being dribbled past on 2 occasions. Together, they formed part of a collective effort that frustrated Wolves and showcased the depth of Howe's defensive options. This was the kind of balanced performance Newcastle have been striving for. A defensive structure strong enough to nullify opponents, while still allowing the team to attack with aggression and numbers. With Shaw marshalling the backline, Pope providing security, and Trippier's creativity down the flank, Newcastle once again proved they are capable of grinding out clean sheets without sacrificing their attacking ambition. A complete performance, and another statement of intent. Then moving on to the injury updates. Newcastle United's £55 million deadline day signing Yoane Wissa will have to wait for his competitive debut, after the forward sustained a knee injury while on international duty with DR Congo. Wissa, who downed tools at Brentford to force through a move to St James's Park, had made a bright start for his country during the break, scoring twice and providing an assist across 2 matches. But against Senegal, he collapsed awkwardly after chasing a loose ball and was immediately withdrawn. Initially, hopes were that the problem was not serious, but Eddie Howe later confirmed the striker would visit a specialist, rarely a positive sign. By Saturday evening, reports confirmed Wissa will be sidelined for 4 to 6 weeks, meaning Newcastle supporters won't see him in black and white until after the next international break. That absence covers at least 6 games, including the Champions League return against Barcelona, and places pressure on the shoulders of new arrival Nick Woltemade. The German striker did make an instant impact, scoring the winner on his Premier League debut against Wolves, but now finds himself carrying Newcastle's attack at just 23 years old. Howe is unlikely to rush Wissa back, not least because the forward missed Brentford's entire pre-season as he agitated for a transfer. Telegraph reporter Luke Edwards also suggested medical staff will proceed with caution, with no appetite to accelerate his return. The injury has a ripple effect on Howe's plans. With Anthony Gordon suspended for next weekend's trip to Bournemouth, Newcastle are suddenly short of attacking options. That may open the door for William Osula, who nearly left the club in the summer, but now finds himself as Woltemade's main backup in the short term. For Howe, it's far from ideal. His deadline day striker signing is sidelined, his star winger is banned, and his squad depth will be tested immediately. But if Newcastle's debutant match winner Woltemade can maintain his confidence, and Osula can rise to the occasion, Wissa's absence might at least open a path for others to step up. But one major boost ahead of a clash with Barcelona in the Champions League is that concern has gripped Barcelona after it was confirmed that Lamine Yamal is suffering from pubic discomfort, which ruled him out of the Sunday's clash against Valencia and putting him in serious doubt for the Champions League opener against Newcastle.
I prayed for this and it happened.
Coach Hansi Flick did not hide his frustration and directly blamed Spain's national team coach Luis de la Fuente for overloading the young forward.
We do not care.
And then finally, in an exciting update, if you would like to know how the international break changed Newcastle's season, click the video link on screen now.